those who don't know me, my name is Katharine, and today I'm going to be running in the Frolic 5K road race. For those who don't know what a 5K is, it stands for 5 kilometers, which is about 3.1 miles, and this specific 5K road race is taking place at Lynch Park in Beverly, Massachusetts. I have not run in this specific 5K road race before, but I have run in other 5K road races before, including 5Ks that have taken place at Lynch Park. Lynch Park is a park, as you can imagine, that has a playground. It's like right on the water in Beverly. You can see, you know, Beverly Harbor in the Atlantic Ocean, and it also has like a lot of history behind it. It has almost like a brick garden where a lot of people get married at. I grew up going to it as a kid. I think I mentioned that, but I'm excited to run in this road race today. For those who don't know, I recently lost like 100 pounds. I never used to be overweight. I grew up pretty active. I used to competitively dance. I played softball. I used to run in road races. And then I also played a variety of other sports like basketball, field hockey, things of that nature. I also grew up in a household where my parents taught us a healthy lifestyle. My dad used to run in marathons, including the Boston Marathon, among other marathons, and my mom owned her own women's only fitness studio that actually was in my basement and still is. My parents converted the basement into like a fitness studio with hardwood floors, mirrors, ballet bars, different fitness equipment like treadmills, ellipticals, free weights, things like that. And I never grew up really drinking soda or eating super unhealthy. Of course, like every once in a while we would go out to eat and I would order a lemonade or we would get pizza, things like that. So there wasn't like depravity in my life of like eating unhealthy food, but I also grew up knowing that like that was like a treat. So when I gained all the weight, it kind of was due to two major things in my life. One was when I went off to college, I gained like 50 pounds because it was just like a very big change in my life, and it was really my first time living away from home. And then the second time in my life where I gained another 50 pounds was when I entered into a relationship, and that was like another big change for me. I had never been in a relationship before. It was like my first boyfriend, and he and I weren't really in the healthiest of relationships, so I emotionally ate to kind of like fill whatever void was in my heart, and I know now that was what Jesus needed to fill. So I'm glad that I now have a great relationship with Jesus and that I don't feel the need to be in an unhealthy relationship or emotionally eat or feel like I need to stress or have anxiety over certain situations in my life because I know that I can trust him. But anyway, that was kind of like the two major things that made me gain 100 pounds. And when I went off to college, I gained that 50 pounds, never lost that 50 pounds, and then I got into that relationship after college and gained another 50 pounds. So it was like 50 and 50 added to that 100. And then there was just like a major thing that happened when I broke up with my boyfriend. I was living with him, and I know now that wasn't like the best scenario for me to be living with him. I'm in a place now where I believe I should be waiting to live with my future husband. I should not be living with them before marriage or having sex before then. So I know that now, and I think that was part of the reason why it was such a stressful and unhealthy relationship. But anyway, that's besides the point. I ended up breaking it off with him due to a certain situation that I may get into later on in the future on this channel. But I ended up moving home after that, and I am just really grateful for my supportive parents because they really encouraged me to lose the weight and like really push me to make better choices for myself, not out of like hate for me or that they thought I was like a disgusting human being, but like because they wanted me to see that it's okay to love yourself and take care of your body. Like even in the Bible, it talks about taking care of your body, treating it as a temple, and just respecting the physical body that God has granted you with. And this is the only body that you get here on earth, so might as well take care of it. And I know that verse in the Bible where it says your body is a temple, it's referring to like sexual sin, which I totally understand, but it can also be applied to like being healthy and whatever you put into your body and however you're exercising your body, you're also treating your body as a temple in doing that as well. So I know that the Holy Spirit is indwelling inside me, so I know now to treat my body better than I had been in the past. And this 5K, even though I have run 2 5Ks since losing the 100 pounds, I ran a turkey trot about a year ago, and I also did a reindeer run, both of which were 5Ks last year. I still see this race as being kind of like a pat on the back for me for losing the weight and to continue to keep the weight off, because it's so hard to keep the weight off. Like, it's one thing to lose the weight, which is, I would say, easier compared to like keeping the weight off. Like, by no means losing weight is it easy. It's very difficult, but like keeping the weight off is even more difficult. Do you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But this is just trying to motivate me to continue to keep the weight off and to continue to make healthy choices and treat myself well, because that's what God would want me to do. So I know now that it's okay to cheat once in a while. Cheat, I like to say, but it's okay to have like a balanced diet. Like, it's okay to go eat pizza once in a while. It's okay to get some takeout Chinese food or whatever. But for the most part, I'm trying to make sure that I'm eating pretty healthy. And for those who want me to make a more in-depth video of like weight loss and like being healthy and things like that, please let me know in the comments below, because I wouldn't mind making a video off of that. But thank you for listening to today's rant. I know it wasn't really expected in this video, but I thought I would just kind of preface why I'm kind of doing this race today. It's kind of just to continue to motivate me to keep the weight off and things like that. And one of the things that I did do in my weight loss journey is like I did not count calories. I ended up just like kind of guesstimating how many calories I was eating, and kind of just went off of that. And it was mostly just like being healthy. It wasn't about like calories and being like anal about the details of like how many things or how many calories or how much protein was in each meal or anything, because what I was struggling with was like overeating, and I didn't want to go the other direction of like under eating, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about those certain eating habits on YouTube, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know. I didn't want to go in that other direction of like under eating, so I felt like if I counted calories, it would do that to me. But that's one thing that I did not do while losing weight. And if you're intimidated about counting calories or doing like the whole like protein and like, I think it's called like macros, like counting your macros, you definitely don't have to do that. Like, unless like maybe if you're like training to do bodybuilding or something like that, where you kind of have to be anal about that kind of stuff. But like, honestly, like if you're just looking to be healthy, like just do you. Like, if you know that you might have to eat under like 2,000 calories, then like kind of guesstimate, like, hey, like let's do a salad with some chicken on it, or like maybe let's do some avocado toast, or like let's do some rice, chicken, and vegetables, kind of like a stir fry situation. Like, kind of guesstimate you're eating. And eating, to be honest, is like the biggest aspect of like your weight loss journey. Like, yes, exercise is important, but at the same time, like, nutrition is the most important, because that kind of sets you up to exercise and go throughout your day, and it's your fuel. So thinking about food as like fueling your body. And so it's of course great to get your steps in and go to the gym and whatever, but like focus more on food if you're looking to lose weight. And then just to also mention, I followed this thing called the Mediterranean diet. I don't even like to call it a diet because it's really not. It's just eating healthy. So think of like the Mediterranean countries. So like Italy, Greece, those types of places. What do they eat? They eat a lot of protein like chicken and fish. They also eat a lot of vegetables, and they also walk a lot, and they're very social. So they eat slower. They constantly are moving their bodies. So just think of it as a lifestyle change rather than like a diet. I don't like that it's called a Mediterranean diet, but look it up if you're interested. And it was not a hard transition for me because like I already kind of like that kind of food. I love salads. I love hummus. I love gyros. I love pita bread. I love olives and things like that. So it wasn't hard for me to like transition to that. And of course, like I mentioned before in previous clips in this video, you don't have to follow it to like a T. There would be occasions where I would go get pizza or like Chinese food or like things like that. So like don't be too hard on yourself, but do whatever works for you and what your preferences are. But thank you for listening to my rant yet again. But let's go run this race. I'm really excited. And I hope to, after running these 2 races, this Frolic 5K, I think it's called, and I have one more race, I think in like November or December, called like a reindeer run, I believe. I want to try to sign up for races that are further distances, maybe like a 5-mile race or a 10K, which is 6.2 miles. But yeah, I'm really excited to run these 2 races that are coming up. I'll also be doing another video for the reindeer 5K or reindeer run, I think it's called. But yeah, I did do 2 races like I mentioned before last year around this time. One was a turkey trot and one was another like reindeer run. And I threw my back out actually after doing those because I have suffered from like back problems in the past. I did break like 2 vertebrae in my back about a decade ago, or maybe even 15 years ago, and now I have arthritis in my lower back. So every once in a while, if I like overexert myself, I sometimes throw my back out. So that's why I didn't like run for a very long time after that, and that's why I'm like kind of getting into these 5Ks again so that I can kind of warm myself up to running further distances. But that's another reason why I'm running these 5Ks. But yeah, I don't know how many times I can say like thank you for listening to my rant, but really genuinely, if you've watched this far in my rant, thank you. But let's go run this 5K. So as you can tell, I have made it to Lynch Park in Beverly for the Frolic 5K. I've checked in, I've gotten my shirt, I've gotten my bib, and I am ready to run this race. It is really chilly out, so I'm glad that I'm wearing this shirt over the other shirt that I'm wearing, and it's like the good like athletic material. I don't know what the specific material is called, but at least it's not like the heavy like cotton material that sometimes races give out. But yeah, I am glad that I'm here. It is chilly out, like I said. I hope the rain holds out because it looks like it is going to rain. It's a bit cloudy out and it was sprinkling like on my drive here. So hopefully it holds out for the race. But yeah, I am just super excited to be here. I don't know how else to describe it. This is my first 5K since like last year when I ran in those 2 5Ks like I mentioned before blowing out my back. So I'm glad to be running again. I'm gonna run one more race this year in like November, December. It's like a Christmas themed reindeer run. It's another 5K, and then hopefully after that I can sign up for like longer races like a 5-miler or a 10K and then just go on from there. My goal would be to run at least 1 marathon in my lifetime, hopefully sooner rather than later while I'm still like fairly young. I'm 28 years old, so hopefully in the next like decade or so it would be a goal of mine to run a marathon, at least by the time I'm 40. That's kind of like the plan. But I just have to show you this park because, as I mentioned earlier on in this video, this is a park that I grew up going to as a child. It has a playground, but it also is like right on the water. It's bordering the Beverly Harbor, and then also it has like this beautiful like brick garden area, and I always told myself that I would love to get married here, but we'll see. Let me show you the area just so that you get a picture of what this park looks like because it is so pretty. And then I'm gonna head into the race. I also have to stretch and get my headphones on, so let me show you around the park and then stretch and then get my headphones on so that I have some good music to listen to on this run. I'm also gonna try to get my parents to film me like starting and finishing the race, and then I'm also gonna film on my iPhone like me running in the race like during the duration of the race. So let me go ahead and do what I gotta do. And I heard them announcing, I think, that they're gonna be starting soon, so yay! I'm about to head to my car to put like my purse and stuff in it, but I just wanted to mention too that this race I think is supposed to be funding like, I think the Beverly school system, I don't know, some sort of fundraising effort for that, which is always nice to hear when like a race is raising money for something good. And then also, I forgot to mention while I was putting on this shirt, I think it's supposed to be like a unisex shirt, and I put down medium because medium is usually my typical size like in women's shirts, but I didn't realize it was meaning unisex medium. So this is a little bit big on me, which I don't mind. Like, I'd rather have it be baggier than not. But like I mentioned before, I do like the material on this because it's like this like sweat wicking almost type athletic material rather than like that cotton material that sometimes road races give for t-shirts, and it's usually like really heavy and like I just don't like the feeling of it. But yeah, I'm just gonna put my stuff in my car and then switch over to filming on my phone, and hopefully my parents get some good footage of me starting the race and ending the race. But yeah, I'm gonna switch over to my phone now that I'm gonna put my stuff in my car. Got back to my car clearly, and I am soaking wet. I was hoping that the rain would hold off while I was in the race, but it didn't. It wasn't like downpouring, but it still was coming down, and I did about a 10-minute and 17-second mile, which honestly is pretty good for me. My hair is crazy right now, because I was averaging like on my runs like a 10 and a half, 11-minute mile, so I was slightly faster during this race. I think it's partly due to adrenaline, and also I feel like I'm training myself to run further and to run faster too. I've noticed that on my runs that I've been running faster every single time, even if it's just by a few seconds, which is to be noted that it's probably due to me cross-training. So every other day I'm running, and then every other day in between that I'm going to the gym and strengthening my muscles, which is so important because that also prevents injury. And I'm trying to do that so I don't blow out my back like I did last year. And I don't think it was because I wasn't cross-training that I blew my back out last year. Like, I was doing basically the same training that I was this time around. I think it's just because I had prior injury with my back, where I broke 2 vertebrae in my back, that the arthritis just got really inflamed. But anyway, I'm really proud of myself. I'm going to do one more 5K this year, and then after that I'm probably going to sign up for like a 5-miler or a 10K after that. One of my favorite things about running in races is just seeing everyone come together and like support each other, and that's so encouraging, especially during these 5Ks where it's like a smaller race. So a lot of these people are like probably just starting out running, and we all just want to like get to the finish line. And I think I didn't like place in any sort of category. I didn't like win a certain age group, or like I didn't win the race obviously, but like that's like not what I'm about when I'm running. Like, if I get to the finish line and I beat my personal best, which I did, I probably ran faster than I have lately, so that's all that matters to me. As long as I cross that finish line and do my own personal best, that's all that matters to me. I'm not there to like compete with anyone. It's a 5K, so it shouldn't be like that anyway. But even like throughout the race, like even though it was raining, like it did spread out a lot. Like, the one thing that I don't really like about races is like the congestion, especially at the start of the race. But like the further you get into the race, like the more spread out the people get, if that makes sense. And by mile like 1 or 1.5, it was pretty spread out enough where like I felt like I had room, and that I could like really look around and look at the scenery and stuff like that, and just like focus on running. I loved just like looking at all the foliage and like the houses. We ran through like different neighborhoods, residential neighborhoods, which was a lot of fun. And I just genuinely liked this route. There was like one little tiny hill, but it was pretty much flat the whole entire way. But yeah, other than the rain, it was pretty good. I just love this area. It's like right on the water, and it's just a pretty park to start and end the race. But that's it from me today. Thank you for joining along this adventure. Do all the YouTube things that you know how to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to let me know if you want any more videos of like working out, exercising, my weight loss journey. Please let me know, and I'll try to do more content like this if there's an interest for it. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!